So today we have with us the owner of Prana Food for Life, and she was very generously agreed to join me for this interview and potentially collaborate with Not Me Just Green. So thank you so much, Udit, for joining me today.
No worries at all. Happy to do so.
So to start off, could you please tell me a little bit more about yourself? For example, what's your name, nationality, or what's your current occupation?
Sure. So my name is Udit Dawan. I was born and raised in Bangkok, Thailand. My parents are Indian, but I currently hold a Thai passport and I studied at Bangkok Patna School. Now I'm currently running my own business, which, as you mentioned, is Prana Food for Life. So, yep, you can see here Prana. It's my t-shirt. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Prana Food is a food delivery business. We're not actually a restaurant. So we have a website where customers can go in and order throughout the week. And we follow the whole food plant-based diet, which is basically a healthy vegan diet, which means try to use only whole foods and as minimal refined and processed products as possible. So we don't use any cooking oil in our pantry, which is one example, which is how we're a little bit different to just a regular vegan restaurant you might find. And we also do other things such as we use only like a brown rice, red rice, things like that. We try to use, as I mentioned, unrefined carbohydrates, things like that, and as minimally processed food items as possible. So that's really the focus of the business. We want to be a healthy food delivery service here in Bangkok, where we offer both lunch and dinner services from Sunday to Friday every week.
So now I would like to get into the details and the whole purpose of this interview. So why did you decided to start this restaurant? Was there any particular gap or issue that needs to be addressed in society? Or is it simply that you would like to promote a vegan diet?
There was two main reasons why I started. After my MBA, I had noticed a lot of my friends had started to order a lot of these healthy food box and clean food kind of services here. But from what I saw that they were giving them, most of them were based on eating in a calorie deficit and things like that. Whereas I didn't actually feel like the meals they were providing were so healthy. And I thought that there was definitely an opportunity to do something which was based on real food, where you didn't have to just starve yourself or like eat little bit food, because that's not really a sustainable way of living. Second main reason why I started the business is because my dad shifted to this diet. Now it's been about 7 years ago due to heart issues. So a lot, again, it all comes down to like the health aspects of it. So he had heart disease and he had to operate. And after that, basically, he didn't want to live on medication for the rest of his life. And so he kind of took the time to study, what other options there were out there. And then most of the books and things he read led him to the whole food plant-based diet. And so my family had already started to change the way that we were eating at home because of him. That as well was the main reason why I launched Prana, really. Those are the two reasons.
Wow, that's very interesting. My parents also tried to become more healthier, and also one of them tried like a vegan diet for about 2 years now.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason why, like, I'm not personally vegan myself. I'm the first to say that. I try to eat a whole food plant-based diet as much as possible, but I still have cheat days and things like that. But basically, the main reasons I would say why eating whole food plant-based is it's low calorie density food groups. It's real whole foods, it's fruits, it's vegetables. Like, I don't think many people will debate the health benefits of eating more leafy green vegetables in your diet, eating fruits, eating berries, things like that. The more fresh, real produce that you can incorporate in your diet, and the less processed food that you eat, which comes out of the supermarket aisles, the better your health will be. I don't want to get into the whole meat debate today with you because that's a long hour-long topic, but I personally don't believe that there's a whole lot of benefits to it, even when it comes to protein and things like that. But if I can at least say today that, the more unprocessed food, less processed food you eat. So, in 80-90% of the supermarkets are processed food. If you walk into any grocery store, only 10-20% of the aisles are actually fresh produce. Normally just sitting at the front, people walk by it and then they go pick up the chips and cookies and soft drinks, sweet drinks, etc. That's where we indulge and binge in. So yeah, just simply everyone can benefit from eating more fruits and vegetables in their diet. And That doesn't mean you have to be vegan, like same as me. You just need to make small adjustments in your lifestyle. First thing is obviously understanding the nutritional sciences of it and things, and then from that you can go from there. So that's why I fully promote that the healthiest diet possible out there to anyone living anywhere in the world, and also the most sustainable diet for our, as a population, our long-term future is the whole food plant-based diet. And yes, that is happens to be a vegan diet as well. Of course. So, I mean, I obviously do it for myself as well. Like I said, this lockdown probably made me healthier than ever before, just because I haven't been going out and living and traveling and eating crap and living my usual routine as I would do. So, I'm very passionate about sports and fitness and things like that. So it wasn't like I'm now 31 years old and most of the people my age have kind of like started to let themselves go a little bit. You could say starting to gain weight. It's not the same as when you're 18 and still in high school and university. Like your body slows down and your food choices matter more. So definitely, like for me too, it's about trying to stay healthy in my 30s. I'm not trying to be a professional athlete, but I'm definitely going to try to be as fit and as healthy as possible as I can. And I don't believe that just because as you get older you have to like give that part of your life up. And so it's a huge part of why I do what I do. I want other people around me. I want other people to know that there is a possibility. And then for people who are even older than me and maybe closer to my parents' age, then they have to start worrying about chronic diseases, diabetes, heart disease, liver function, etc. All those other cancers, things like that. We don't want people to live on medicine for the rest of their life, right? We don't want them to be spending on hospital bills and things like that. You can change your lifestyle. You can be more active. You can eat, like I said, a whole food plants every day. I like what a lot of other people have. They have like a checklist of like 10 things you should do every day, 10 food groups you should try to cover. Your plate should not look deep fried. Everything on your plate shouldn't look brown. There should be color on your plate. There should be green. There should be red. There should be purple. There should be orange. That's the way we should eat. There's a reason why fruits and vegetables are appealing to our eyes, because it's in our instincts, like to know to grab these things, that this is like something that we want to eat, I would say. So that's why I think fruit, vegetables and fruits especially, why they look appealing to you, the color. So all of these things combined, like it wasn't just about my dad. Like he's a big part of why my household changed the way we eat 5 years ago. He's the only one in the house who's vegan, but like we rarely have anything animal products at home and thing. But he's 60 something years old, and he says to us as well, if 80% of your diet, 90% of your diet you eat this way, and you still have your 10-20%, you go out with your friends, you do what you want, you have dinners, you have birthday parties, it's okay, right? You have to find that balance. But compared to how we used to eat and think about nutrition 5 years ago, we have completely changed and turned around the way we look at food. So I want to help educate people in Thailand. I think it's a new topic. We're still very far behind like countries like the UK, like Australia, like the US. So it will take time. When I did launch 4 years ago, I was definitely one of the first few people doing it here. There was no other really vegan food delivery service here. Now there's loads of restaurants. I wasn't the first restaurant, but definitely like in terms of this kind of healthy food box model, we were definitely one of the first ones that started up that way back then. I'm just glad that the market keeps growing every year, and so many new products keep coming in. We love it. So I have no doubt that this is where the future is headed.
Prana,
Yeah,
life.
prana is a Sanskrit word. Prana. Prana means life force or life energy. Sanskrit. So it wasn't me who. My dad came up with the name. His business, his company. My dad runs a vitamins and supplements pharmaceutical company in Thailand here called Mega We Care. Some of you might have heard of it. They came up with the name, and the trademark. Prana means life, energy, life force. So prana, food for life, energy for life, the food for life. That's where the name comes from. That's where the logo comes from. And we also have another logo we've trademarked here, which is the PBWF, which again stands for plant-based whole food. And these are our two like key messages that or our trade branding that we have here in Thailand. I'm assuming this is from the documentary recently from Netflix on the Seaspiracy.
Yeah.
Yes, I watched that as well. I mean, I can't say I knew a whole lot about it. Like I said, for us, primarily, I launched based on mostly the health side of it. But obviously, the more and more I am in this industry, I do realize the environmental benefits of it too, right? From the fishing stand, I think they explained it pretty well, right? If you work in an industry that not even visible 3 months at a time, 6 months at a time, then it's very hard to regulate. First and foremost, you're basically hidden from the public eye. So how do you really hold people accountable? I know that there's a lot of whole other problems when it comes to shipping, and because it's like which countries, sea, land are you in? What laws apply? Who owns what part of the water, right? Like we have very clear boundaries for countries. We have like our borders between like Thailand, Malaysia, Myanmar, and things like that. And then, but once you're out in the sea, how tight are those borders compared to land borders? And then how which authority is taking responsibility for what goes wrong in the industry, right? Obviously if you're a large company and you have a financial motive, and I don't want to say, but obviously I'm assuming that there are ways to get around the law as well, by which are, if you can afford to pay for whatever it is that you owe, even if you do break the law and you get caught, probably have be fined, and then you can still pay that. I don't really see how people could fix it. I think one of the best things, like with everything these days, that you can do is at least increase the awareness and bring it into the public eye, so that more and more people start take interest in the topics, at least so that it's not so hidden. Like the same thing with factory farming, like 20-30 years ago, had like libel laws where you couldn't even take a camera to see what goes on in there, and now we have so many documentaries and footage of what actually really happens, and hopefully maybe more and more people will actually be able to dig into how these industries are run, and the same applies for the fishing industry, basically. Yeah. My message is that, I would, since you are also interested in the fishing, and so I would say that the plant-based diet, whether you're doing it for like your selfish reasons to be healthier, that's one, and then like the environmental reasons, I don't really understand why it's still a debate. I would say how eating meat is not environmentally sustainable. We all learn about food chains in high school, right? How difficult is it to figure out that there's like a 1% energy transfer between each time you go up in a food chain, right? We all understand how much energy it requires for all of us to live every day. If anyone tries to tell you that, eating meat, all those things are lies, blah blah, like, just try to think about it for 1 second. Try to think about how much food you have to grow in order to feed an animal, and then you eat that animal. How much meat do you get out of it? How many calories do you actually get out of that one animal? It's just not a sustainable model. Like, even if you don't agree with me that meat is not healthy or not healthy, we can all stand to benefit by at least reducing our animal intake. There's a new documentary about to come out, where it's called "Eating Our Way to Extinction," coming out this month. So it's going to talk about, again, like basically how our food systems are basically going to be the reason that we're going to destroy our planet, one of the key reasons, at least. There's so many different debates to go into, but my key message, yeah, it's like I try to promote Meatless Monday because I think it's important. You want to give people balance. You want to start people off slow. Like, I don't think it's that difficult to give up something one day a week, right? Like, it's a 1 day out of 7 days a week, and then you can still do whatever you want the rest of the week. You don't even have to do it on Mondays. It's just, I guess they picked it because it rhymes. But it's like a good way to start your week. Try to practice it. I mean, I'm mostly vegan now myself, 90% of the time, because of this lockdown, 95% almost. After you've had a weekend of binging, like, what better way than start off your Monday right? Start off your Monday healthy. You go back to work, you start the week healthy, you start over from the weekend, whatever you might have done that. And then you're also doing something good for the environment. So yeah, one message, that would be my message. Try Meatless Monday. Give it a go. You don't have to be vegan to eat vegetables.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You can start slowly by reducing your consumption a bit by bit, and then eventually you get used to it.
We'll be better off if we have 80% of the population who reduce their meat consumption by 30% than 5% of the population becoming vegan, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, and it's probably not realistic. There are some people who don't care, about what happens to their own health or to the environment, whatever. It's not something that they think about in their daily life, and you can't force them to change. You can just show them the data, you can show them the science, you can try to promote your own belief systems, and then that's all you can do. That's what I do, and that's what I spend most of my time doing on my page, just trying to show real nutritional science, and also show the health benefits, the environmental benefits that we get from it. And hopefully our food is tasty and has a whole lot of variety. Like, we have 150 dishes on our menu, things like that, all over the world. So I just want to show people that it's possible. It's not that hard. Eat everything. We can all change, and you don't have to give up everything. You can still have your cheat days.
Yeah. Well, that's basically it from me. Well, thank you for coming today, just to end the interview here. Yeah.
No worries at all. Thank you so much.